It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleans in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Maple Leaf Bar on Oak Street, which is the longest-running music club in New Orleans. It's been hosting music here for 45 years. You can hear New Orleans' greatest musicians here every night of the week. George Porter is here every Monday night. The Rebirth Brass Band plays every Tuesday. And piano giant John Cleary is playing here at the Maple Leaf every Friday through Jazz Fest. That's pretty cool, Andrew Duhon, wouldn't you say? I would say. And I would say that too if I could hear you. Well, that's just a technical hitch. We'll have that fixed up in a minute. So anyway, you can also come on down to the Maple Leaf any night and hear music. There's music here 7 nights a week. We'll stick around for the next 60 minutes where we also have some music live music from Andrew Duhon is here to play live as well. And do you have anything new for us today?
Yep.
Excellent. A new song. Have you just finished it or you finished it earlier this morning?
It's I just put a couple of pieces from the scrapyard together, and I'm gonna polish that pile of shit and give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds enticing.
Yeah.
It's a pile of shit from the scrapyard.
That's right.
Okay. What's it called?
Can't tell you. Give it away. You know.
Okay. Gabrielle Cavassa is here, who's also a musician. Hey, Gabrielle.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Now, you've been likened to Billie Holiday and Amy Winehouse.
That's true.
What are you hooked on?
What am I hooked on?
Yeah, what drugs are you on?
Oh.
Didn't
Cheers.
they both die from terrible drug
Yeah,
overdoses?
they did. I think that was very romantic to me when I was younger.
What killed Billie Holiday?
Heroin.
Was it really?
Yeah.
How did they do it in those days?
She died in the hospital from an overdose, and she was arrested on her hospital bed.
Wow.
Yeah, on her deathbed.
Yeah.
Wow. She died. She was arrested and then she died in the same.
Yeah.
What was she arrested for?
Possession.
In the hospital. They must have
Yeah.
been really out to get her. I didn't know that.
They
You knew
were.
that, Andrew. You were a
She was
Billie
in the
Holiday
jail
fan?
for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. Did you know that? You know that, Andrew?
I just knew they were out to get her and that she was arrested on her hospital bed. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Lex Wachowski is here as well on bass, but I don't think we can hear him at all, can we? Deborah Oppenheim is here too. Hey, Deborah.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I've heard all about you.
Good.
I know, it is good. You're the founder of something called, listen to this, you guys, Look Before You Open.
Right.
Guess what that's about? Open what?
Open container laws.
Like a car door.
Open container? Arthur. Open container?
Open container laws, for sure.
Try
Oysters?
again.
Shucking
Look
oysters is
before
my
you
guess.
open.
No, it's
Look
got-
before you open.
It's got to be about bicycles.
No,
Yeah.
it's a car door awareness
Yeah.
campaign
Car
for,
door awareness.
I
for
like
drivers
that.
and
Absolutely.
passengers,
Right.
not to kill a cyclist.
That's
My
a
brother was hurt by a car door.
A lot of people.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I bet.
What happened to him?
He was a bike messenger. He got,
Oh.
car doored.
dang.
Yeah. What city was that in?
San Francisco.
God, I wouldn't want to be a bike messenger in San Francisco. You
I
have to be pretty
know.
fit.
He was very fit, yeah.
Well, here is just as dangerous.
Well, it's more dangerous here because nobody pays any attention.
Yeah.
Well,
To
they're going to
bicycles.
start paying attention.
They are.
Yes.
Look before you open. It's a sort of a interesting. How did you come up with that title? Did you?
It was a community type of thing. I asked a lot of people, and then I finally
What were the
got
ones you rejected?
nothing really fun, like just look, or let's try to look, and then look before you open sort of says it all.
It says it all, right? It seems like it's such a simple, sort of stupid thing.
It's very simple. All you use is your opposite hand that makes you turn and look.
See, there's a technique.
It's a simple
It's
technique.
the opposite hand technique.
So wherever you sit, you use your opposite hand, and that makes you look.
Wherever you sit. So this works in if you went to Ireland and you're driving around
Wherever
on
you
the other
sit.
side of the road.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting is the rear view mirror not effective enough?
Not enough, because the blind spot really
Right.
can do it.
Right.
And people here just love to throw their car doors open,
yeah.
or they get busy, or they get distracted.
Yeah, I was
And-
riding yesterday. Dropped my van off at the shop, so I took a blue bike home, and I was staring at those car doors the whole way.
Yeah,
you know,
it's frightening. You have to look in everyone's wing mirror, side view mirror.
just waiting for one to fly open.
Right.
It's got to be nerve-wracking to do that too if you're riding close enough. To
And it's it's not the healthiest thing because there's a car going 45 miles an hour on the other side who may or may not be on their cell phone.
Yeah,
So
look at this. Well, the thing is, if you're riding a bike, the thing is to stay off the main road. That's my advice to cyclists. Don't ride on Magazine
Yeah, I
Street,
feel like
Britannia
that.
Street, St. Charles Avenue.
They're going to try to make
Poitras.
it better on the streets. Our streets are really, really bad, and now everybody's riding bikes, so we have to be aware.
Hey, how much are those blue bikes to rent?
Man, one helpful tidbit is if you get on your little app and they have the racks where they are, and it'll have a number, or it'll just have a bike, that's free. If
Free?
you go pick up, I'm sorry,
It's available.
free from the rack.
Right.
And if you go pick up a bike that's not on a rack and you replace it on a rack, I don't quote me, but I think it's $1 credit when you do that.
But how much is it?
Well, I'll give you
regularly.
Yeah. So yesterday I looked at an Uber to get where I was going for a meeting. It was a $12 Uber, and I thought, well, there's a blue bike right there. What the heck? I'll just ride. It was a $2 Uber ride.
Wow.
And that was outside of their vicinity as well. So I think they probably dinged me for an extra charge, but it was still $2. And then from there, again, I look at a Uber home, $23 to get home.
Where were you? How far away?
I had a meeting at the Columns Hotel from
Mid-City. Your house in Mid-City.
Well,
to the
no.
Columns is 23.
I was at the rehearsal space, which is Chapatoulas and Calliope, basically.
That's even closer. than
Right.
your
So
house.
it's 2 miles to Columns from there, and then it's 3 miles from Columns to my house. Would have been a $23 Uber. It was a $2 blue bike.
Okay. Well, that does sound a lot more cost efficient.
Totally, but then you risk your life on car doors.
Right.
And you have exercise.
You have exercise.
That's true. Yeah. Would you do it again?
Sure,
Next
yeah.
time?
And plus, I mean, if I do get car doored and I'm in the hospital for a couple of weeks, think of the weight loss there. It's,
You're right about that.
Yeah.
So how is this thing working out then, Deborah? Are people paying attention to
Yeah,
you?
they really are. It's really going well. All of a sudden, I'm getting a lot of exposure. And I'm working to get these graphics put on buses,
Right.
on streetcars, and bus shelters. And they really say it all. So, and
That's
it's
interesting.
excellent.
Well, good job.
Thank you.
Okay. And are you getting paid for this at all?
No, it's all volunteer.
It's all just,
It's-
And so you're part of this Bike Easy thing.
Bike Easy is a fiscal agent. It's my partner. And
Bike
so
Easy is a fiscal
look before he
agent.
opens a
What is it?
nonprofit.
What does Bike Easy as a fiscal agent mean?
That means that if I get a grant or something, they're 501c3.
Oh, you
and-
can run it all through Bike
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur Franz may be able to help you, actually. This is Arthur Franz IV.
Yeah, he's
He
mad.
is.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to
Hi.
Happy Hour. Arthur, good to see you.
Happy
Sorry
to be
we
here.
haven't spoken to you for the
No,
last
I want to
5
talk more
minutes.
about Deborah's thing. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
Seriously, though, from a training standpoint, if people who drive knew the rules of the road and how to, right? I got the knowing look. I hit it out of the park. Okay, that was great. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Well,
no, but that's a big
yeah,
one.
I think education's really important, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how stupid does someone have to be not to look before they open their car door, though?
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
There could be
No,
anything.
no, no.
There could be a truck coming.
Well, it's not only for bicyclists. Pedestrians are being hit, and so are car doors
Yeah.
being hit.
I mean,
Right.
not that stupid though. I'm sure I've done it a million times. I
I
just
don't think it's
Have you
deliberate.
opened
Yeah,
your
I
car
think-
door and had your car door whacked off by a truck or a bus?
never.
Or
But
well, so you're not
I
that
just
stupid.
think if you're thinking, if I see that sign or it's on a bus and I
Right.
see that, then I would just
It just-
remember.
Right. It's in your sort of consciousness when
Yeah.
you go to open the door next
I
time.
think you don't have to be stupid not to look at all. It's perfectly normal.
Is
Look up,
it?
getting out.
Yeah,
Really?
It's more about being distracted, I think.
totally,
We're all
yeah.
preoccupied
Yeah.
with where we're going. We just
Yeah.
parked. We got
I
to get
don't-
where we're going.
It's not
before the
always
door opens.
deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Just
still
a reminder.
It's still stupid. in
But
my
one thing that is deliberate is when you take out a board game and you start playing. Hey, look, a board game.
Look, so you're the inventor of a board game. This is what I like about this. The first thing I like about this game, it's called Mardi Gras Madness.
Yes.
And it's a board game with no board.
Yeah, it's all cards, and what we use is.
So it's a card game. It's not a board game.
Well, yeah, it's a tabletop game. Right?
Okay.
And so you'll use cards as the board. We did that to cut down cost. And it's actually, I mean, go ahead and open it up at your convenience today. It's a lot of fun.
I'm scared to open it.
No, it's good.
So it's called Mardi Gras Madness, and it's a board game without a board, which is actually a card game about Mardi Gras.
yes.
And from what I understand from the explainer video on YouTube that I saw, is that it's it's a replication of a Mardi Gras parade.
Yes, you are a reveler catching throws off of a parade, and it plays 1 to 6 players. Yes, you can play it solo, but it plays really well at 6. And what you do is you just try to catch the best bag of swag, and you tally up the points at the end and see who won. It's a lot of fun.
Okay,
It's totally
let's do it.
recycled.
So can we just, you put the cards,
Beads.
Right.
what's that, Deborah? Sorry?
I said there are no beads. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Nothing to recycle.
Nothing to recycle.
It's a card. How did you come up with this, Arthur? Are you like a gamer?
Yes, I am. Uplink Underground Games is the name of the company that I work with. It's 2 other folks, Ben Jennings and Mark Burlett. We're all very, very old friends. And so we decided, hey, let's start a board game company. About 4 years ago, we put out a game called Breakaway Football, which is a card and board game around NFL football, but we don't have the license. That's out in the world. It's getting great reviews. And so we said, well, let's do something closer to home, and that's what we have.
Just go back a bit. You put out a game about football, about the NFL without a license?
Yeah,
From
so
the NFL. Do they
so
shoot
it was
you
based on the NFL, but it has nothing to do with the NFL. It doesn't use any of the team names, but it's called Breakaway Football. And so if you take a look at it, you can see that it's professional football, but it doesn't reference the NFL at all. It's more coaching.
I wonder if you could help me relive one of my favorite Mardi Gras throw memories
Okay.
of childhood, and that was when I followed Britney Spears' float for 3 blocks before she finally threw me a bead. Are there any celebrities in this game?
There are not, although that would be a really interesting expansion. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way, the
That-
King and Queen expansion.
That bead stayed on my bedroom doorknob till I was in college, I think.
I
good.
caught I caught beads from Larry King.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Wow.
I still have them in my office.
I think
The
my-
doubloon is better, though, right? It's provable.
Well, that's true. I suppose it's got her face in it. You
Yeah.
had the Britney Spears doubloon.
Just bead. No, I
Bead.
just caught the bead.
Yeah.
Just
but
to
I
like it.
knew.
Yeah,
still
she
have it?
threw it to you.
And did
it
you-
was her and
She
I
saw
thing.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Larry King definitely knew it was me when he threw it.
when,
Right.
you, when
Right.
you caught it, if you had yelled, "Hit me, baby, one more time," then she'd throw you another
Yeah,
one.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oops,
all good.
oops, I did it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's this thing selling?
So it just came out. So we released a few advance copies, 100 or so advance copies. We sold out in about a week. We actually just received our shipment from China 2 days ago. So it's in
Did it
retail
come
It's
from-
now.
like Mardi Gras throws.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
That's where board games are produced.
Yeah.
so how much does it cost? You can't tell.
It's
us how much
25. No, it's 25.
It cost 25 to buy it.
Yes.
And how much did it cost you to get it made in China? Like nothing. Right.
Less than 25.
Right. So just
Yeah.
a couple of bucks. And could you have had it made in the United States?
We tried. So
What happened there?
It's 2 things. The quality of the production is not there. The knowledge and the equipment is really in China. That's where it is. And so
Come on a minute. Are you saying there's no in the United States
I
you can
actually
make a fucking
look.
laminated card?
You and I have known each other a whopping 28 minutes. I'm telling you the truth.
13,
I tried.
actually.
Well, I always
Yeah.
double because it sounds
Yeah.
better. But okay, 13. But we've seriously tried to do this in the United States. If you're doing a pure card game with no board or anything like that, in a tuck box like a 54 card deck of regular playing cards, you can do that at a company.
52, isn't it?
Well, it's 54. You have a joker and normally a rules card.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, you can do that with a company called Cartamundi, which is based in the Netherlands, I think, but they do production in Dallas. So there are some things you can do in the U.S., but very little.
I thought you could probably get this made at Kinko's. It's like
It's been real.
It is. It is cool looking, but it's hard to believe that you couldn't get this printed like at Garrity Printing or
No,
something.
no,
in-
not at all.
in
That's
Metairie,
a
LA.
that's a 310 gram blue core, wonderful card.
So there's a whole
feel
lot-
the snap and the pop on
It
that
does.
card.
It does
Yeah.
feel like it's going to last
good
for a while.
stuff. I
It is-
appreciate it,
It does feel nice. So I've got the
ages?
Candace card that says "You know a writer." Okay, so
That's actually based on the
okay,
owner
so
of
listen
Tubby
up
and
here.
Coos.
So listen, Gabrielle.
Yeah.
So you moved here from somewhere in California.
Oakland.
Were you in? So you were living with your brother who was knocked off his bike.
I thankfully was not living with my brother, but
What's he doing now?
he is actually studying to be an animal counter. His job is going to be to count the number of animals in a species.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So he's moved on.
Will he be doing any tagging?
I
of
think so.
animals? Okay.
Yeah.
Who trains you to do that?
I don't know.
Well, call him up.
College. Yeah.
He's in college to be an animal counter.
Yeah.
Geez, I didn't know that was a job.
What kind
It's
of
in
animals
Humboldt.
generally are we counting?
All.
All of
All
them.
animals need to be counted.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
I would like to know.
Of all things.
Does he know anything about flies?
Probably.
Don't
He
you-
knows so much about all animals.
What did he do? Is this a graduate position or undergraduate?
It's an undergraduate position, I guess.
So that you can go to college and go straight into college and straight into animal counting.
Yeah, I guess
Wow.
so. Yeah.
Okay, and did he do anything before this? I mean, between
Well, he
messenger
had-
bike riding?
Well, he had a. It's funny we're talking about my brother. He had a. He was an athlete, and then he's so crazy. He's a bike messenger. He got into a horrible snowboarding accident as well, and then his athletic career was kind of cut short, and he
Right.
went into animal counting.
Well, that's a natural
Yeah.
progression. I'd like to know some more about that, but let's talk about you for a sec.
Okay.
So you started singing in California
Yeah.
as a jazz vocalist.
I started singing as a child. I just love singing.
Right.
It's like my favorite thing to do.
Really, was it?
Yeah.
Did you buy records in record stores and
Yeah. Well, that's how I got into jazz. Yeah.
by discovering
Buying
it
records.
on
Yeah. And I would just
records?
look at the picture, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I'll try it out.
In a record store? You would just
I
flip
just look at
through
the picture,
album
yeah.
covers. Wow, is this a long time ago?
Yeah. And I love records. Big record collector.
Wow. And so who was the first one you stumbled on? You put it on. You're like, wow, this is awesome.
One of the first records I had was Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, because the album cover is just like his big head, and it's so impactful. It's like very simple, aesthetically pleasing album cover. I loved it, and I loved the album.
You came home and put it on. What were you listening to before that was in your house? What sort of music were they listening to at home?
Doo-wop.
Really?
Yeah,
You come from a doo-wop family.
I do. Yeah.
So it's not much of a step from doo-wop to Art
No,
Blakey.
not huge.
Really?
Not huge. But they're not big music people, honestly. But they did. My dad likes classic rock. My mom likes doo-wop.
Okay. That's a song right there by the sound of it. It's almost a country song.
Yeah.
And so you picked up jazz vocalist somehow or other along the way.
Yeah, well, I was singing a lot. And I actually got a vocal injury when I was like 10. And then I sounded like my voice was really scratchy. But I was very young, so everyone said, oh, well, you're the jazzy one. Like, you're the jazz singer. And so I was like, well, okay, maybe I am. And I just loved it, yeah.
So you sort of followed the image of
Yeah, well, I grew up with other singers too, and I wanted to be different than them, so I had to do something. I don't know. I went into jazz, kind of willed myself to love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you actually love it?
Oh, I love it now.
Okay,
but
well-
at first, I don't know. You have to get into it.
Well, you want to play something? Because Lex
Sure.
is here with his giant double bass.
Yep.
What are you guys going to play for us? Do we have like that set up? Are you mic'd up there? Okay.
So we're going to want to angle one of the mics just towards him.
Oh, okay.
Do this.
All right. What are you going to play?
We're gonna play a song from an album that we just recorded, but it's not out yet.
Okay.
The
When's it?
album's coming out in April.
April 2020.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
okay. A lot of people will be listening to this after April 2020, probably.
Yeah.
So that won't be a problem. Where do we find it then? Can we steal it off of Spotify and so on?
Yeah, in April. Yeah.
Okay. And what's it called?
This is called Inside My Arms.
Inside My Arms.
Yeah.
And what is the album called?
The album is called Gabrielle Cavassa,
Oh,
which
that's
is
interesting.
my name.
Yeah. Is that your real name?
It is.
Where's Cavassa from? Is that Greek?
It used to be Cavazza. It's Italian.
It's Italian.
Yeah.
Ah.
But I'm told it was changed from Z's to S's,
S's.
to be more
Cavassa.
American.
So, really?
Yeah.
Still sounds pretty foreign. I thought it was Greek. It's a great name,
Thanks.
isn't it? Don't you think? Gabrielle Cavassa. It sounds like
Lovely.
you made it up.
You know, I wanted to change my name to have a better like singing name, and I would like
What
try
name?
it out on a few years ago.
What'd
I
you
would
think
try it
was
out on
good?
people. I don't know. I wanted something about like a cat, or I was like, how about
Kitty.
cat? And they're like, no, like that's taken. There's a couple cats, like Cat Stevens. You know,
Oh,
it's
Cat Stevens. I don't think anybody would confuse you with Cat Stevens.
No.
probably.
Cat
That
Power, though.
Cat Power.
is Cat Power.
There's some cats, yeah. So, but
That
then I
was
was like,
gone.
my name's fine, yeah. So I'm just
It's
sticking with
I
this.
thought you made it up. It's a great name.
Oh.
Gabrielle Cavassa. Okay. So, what are you playing? Inside My Arms.
Inside My Arms, yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. I need a note, Alex. inside my arms. He's a different man inside my arms. He forgets his plans. He is mine, and I supply everything that he needs until he leaves and forgets the warmth of my body. Ooh, I'm not proud that I cling to him. I cherish his soul, and I sing to him. But I am hopelessly into him. I'll always answer when he calls. Inside my arms on some too late night, when I don't care if he treats me right, we'll be pretending, but I'll know that it's real in the morning. Inside my arms, he's a different man. Inside my arms, he forgets his plans. Oh, he is mine, and I supply everything he needs until he leaves and forgets the warmth of my body. Ooh, I'm not proud that I cling to him. I always cherish his soul, and I sing to him. But I am hopelessly into him. I answer when he calls. Inside my arms on some too late night, when I don't care if it treats me right, we'll be pretending, but I'll feel that it's real, and in the morning he'll forget to feel some other too late night.
Wow. Okay, Andrew, you opened your eyes again now.
Yeah, I had to keep them closed that whole time. It was taking me somewhere. It was really beautiful. And, it was just an upright bass and a vocal. And yet, vocal dexterity to be able to do that without some, like, piano cueing you on what that next note is, because that ain't just cowboy chords or anything. That was really beautiful.
Yeah, it's almost like you were the other instrument. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you're sitting around this little tiny table, and suddenly someone says, do that. And you can just do it.
Yeah. Well, you don't know how many strange situations I've sang in.
How many?
So, I don't know.
What could be strange? What do you mean?
Well, it is strange. I think it's pretty strange to say all your feelings. Like I think talking, usually we're like, oh, we're so cool and we're
Right.
so smart and funny, and And then singing to me is like the opposite. It's like, I'm so naked. I'm so vulnerable. So it's very.
Well, you don't have to write lyrics like that. You could
That's
write
true.
stupid lyrics about some bullshit
That's
thing.
true. That's a good
you know? So who is the guy you wrote that about?
I wrote that about a lot of guys, but I think I wrote it about this one guy. Should I say who I wrote it about?
It's me.
It's Arthur Franz IV.
It's not. It's not.
Inventor of Mardi Gras Madness. Yeah, you can say it's
I
fine.
I wrote it about a guy that I used to date who lived in Oakland. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were totally as into him as you sound on that song. That you're.
I was at the time.
But you,
yeah.
did you feel that he forgot about you as soon as he left? Is that the problem?
Yeah, he was one of
issue?
the only guys I've ever dated who was like, well, I just said I wrote about a lot of guys, but he was a guy that I dated who was very, he was like a player, you know, and he was super like tough in public, but then in private I was like, oh, I know who you really are, but I can't tell now anymore. I don't know. He's both.
Yeah. And who are you dating
all are.
now?
Now I'm dating a man named Gregory Agide.
Did he change that from? Was it originally have Z's in it?
His name was Kat.
Was it Aziz?
No. He
Gregory
kept his
Agide.
name.
That's an exotic
That's a good
sounding
name,
name too.
Yeah, he's French.
Oh, he is.
Well, his parents are French, yeah.
Okay. And is that
French
he live
name.
here?
He does.
Okay. Is he in the music business as well?
He's a clarinet player.
All right. Do you know him, man?
I do, yeah,
All right.
of course.
Who's he playing with? Did he play with you?
No, he plays with Michael Bublé, not me.
Michael Bublé, the actual superstar.
The guy
Yeah.
behind the sparkling soda. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
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 So your boyfriend, Alex, what is it? What's his name again?
Greg.
Gregory Agide.
Yeah.
Greg, why did I say Alex?
I don't know.
Were you thinking about somebody called Alex and I like psychically
Telepathy?
picked that up? Yeah. How do you
No.
spell his name? Not the Gregory.
A-G-I-E-X.
A lot of people call him. What is it?
Agide.
A lot of people
Okay,
call
we
him
have to
Agate.
Google him. Look at the reflection of the whatever that's called, the shadow there. Gregory Agide is the
Yeah.
clarinet player for Michael Bublé, and he's
Yeah.
from New Orleans.
Yeah, he is.
How'd that happen? How'd you get that gig?
He got that gig. He knew someone in the band. It's all connections.
Really?
Turns out we're not
Yeah.
all stuck here, Grant. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Well, it's
Yeah.
pretty exciting to think that somebody from here is,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, traveling around the
He
world with
kept
Michael
that gig 'cause
Bublé.
he's
of all
a
people.
badass,
Like
but he
John
got
Kerr,
it. 'cause
There are a
you
lot
know,
of people
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are from here that play.
Oh, so many.
Right.
That's actually one of the reasons I love being a musician here, because more than in San Francisco, there's as high a caliber of musicians here as anywhere, but a lot of them it's such a small city that a lot of people have the opportunity to go on the road and just, you know, all my friends. It's so cool versus being in San Francisco where, I don't know, it's like a different tier of people who are doing that. No one's stuck in the local scene. Like, I mean, you can if you want to be, but
But the local scene here in New Orleans is so much. I mean, you can't hear bad music in New Orleans.
yes, you can.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Really? I think every time I go to hear a gig here, I hear somebody who's really great.
You probably
pretty
should go to the right gigs, but you can
Yeah.
definitely see.
much. Really?
Yeah, if you want.
You think there's like
Just
second
because we laud it doesn't make it good.
I
We're just
think
very
there's-
supportive.
Oh, that could be what it is. I don't know. I think there's so many talented musicians here. Many
is.
more talented musicians per capita than there are in, say, San Francisco.
I,
Yeah, I agree.
I really
It's easy to hear
appreciate.
shitty music.
I appreciate and I adopt the philosophy of one of Alex McMurray's songs, and he introduces it as being a former New Yorker, you know, and in New York, you subscribe to the philosophy that if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere,
That's a
right?
great
That's
song.
But his song about
Right.
New Orleans is, if you can't make it here, don't leave.
You better not leave. Yeah. That is a brilliant song.
I
Isn't
love it.
I
I
always
love
thought
it.
that should be a billboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should be like it's visiting you, like it's New Orleans type.
Can't
you know.
make it here,
Yeah.
don't
You
leave.
better
Yeah.
not- And the lyrics of that song are so great too.
He is one of my favorites in
Yeah.
town, man. He
He's
really
a great
is.
writer.
Really
Yeah,
is.
he is. Deborah, do you play anything besides?
No, I appreciate it.
What did you do before you, as well as trying to save people's lives?
I was an
writing?
educator for 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, Orleans Parish Schools.
Really?
Yeah.
You taught the New Orleans Parish School System for 30 years.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're still here and not crazy.
No, I loved it. I had a great time.
What did you teach?
Well, I taught children with problems and learning problems, and then I taught gifted kids after that.
Wow. So both ends of the spectrum.
They're all gifted. They all have talents, and they teach you just as
Right.
much as you teach them.
But what subjects are you teaching them?
Well, I was when I taught children with learning problems, it was all ages, and you taught everything. And with children that were gifted, I also had various ages. I believe that every 7 years to change a school, so you don't get involved in the politics, and then
Right.
you can
Good
start
thinking.
over and learn.
So what schools were you at?
Well, they're not here anymore, but
None of them out of 30
well,
years worth
no,
of...
they're not.
Was that...
Lusher was my last school that I
Well,
taught
Lusher
at.
is definitely still here.
Yeah, that's here. But Allen School is a different school, and MacDonough 39 has been raised since Katrina, and then different schools in various locations.
Right. Did you go to school here, Arthur? Are you from here?
I did, yeah. I went to Jesuit High School and the University of New Orleans.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Fully entrenched, which is why
Right.
Mardi Gras... Anyway.
That's hence the game. So what do you
Yeah.
do besides this? You can't make a living out of
No,
making
of
this
course not. This is my hobby. I am actually a learning and development manager at an offshore supply vessel company. Say that 5 times fast.
I'm trying to catch up with you there. You're a what?
So Hornbeck Offshore, it's up in Covington. They're an offshore supply vessel company. I do talent learning and development, which means I hire...
Offshore supply vessel.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's almost... Think of it like pickup trucks in the Gulf of Mexico.
So guys
if a
who
rig
are,
needs something,
guys who
we
are out
take it
on
to them.
rigs,
Uh-huh, exactly.
they're out there in the middle of the ocean, 150 miles away, and they
So
need like...
So I run the team that hires the mariners onto the vessels, and I also run the other team that trains the entire enterprise. So I have 9 direct reports, and it's a fun job. It's big, but it's fun.
That sounds pretty
Interesting.
interesting.
It's very
A
cool.
helicopter?
Yeah, and everybody has to take what's called T-HEWIT. It's Tropical Helicopter Underwater Egress Training, which means if a helicopter crashes in the ocean, how do you get out of it? And everyone has to take this training
Oh,
in
yeah.
order to be able to go out there. So yeah,
Okay, so how do you get out of a helicopter when it goes down?
swim.
That's it. Well, that was easy.
Make sure to unbuckle and
Okay.
swim. Yeah, I've never taken the training because they do, as part of the training, actually put you in a simulator and they dunk you in the water. That will not be happening. But
How do you get away with not taking it if you're?
I don't
doing
have to go out offshore.
Oh, okay.
If I were to go offshore, I would have to take it.
this? Haven't you? Wouldn't you want to do that? I would love to try that, wouldn't you?
I kind of would.
Be
I-
tipped
I've heard-
upside down.
It's
I've heard
heard a
available
couple
every
of
day.
tips about it.
Give me a call.
Well, one's
go
pretty
do it.
simple. One is make sure your seatbelt is on until you are no longer moving at all, because you don't want to bounce around, right? The other thing is if you're going down and you have a chance, grab the door and hold on to it for dear life, because you're going to need to know where that is when
Yeah.
you can't find anything
Yeah.
else and you don't know which way is up.
You're talking about if a car is submerged. Is that what you're talking
I
about?
think it's like the
Helicopter.
helicopter thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know the other thing too is to open the door with your other hand.
Well, in case a moray
Look,
eel
it's
is passing
just-
by.
Yeah,
Just to put a bow on the hole, if your car goes into the water, I've heard that the seat rest behind your head, if you take that off, it's got those metal prongs. You
Oh,
can
and
use
that'll
that to
break a window.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
smart.
The other
Have you
thing
ever tried
is-
taking that off, even when the car's not underwater?
Not while it's moving, but yes.
Not even when it's not moving.
Sure,
Haven't
I'm
you ever
taking
got
it
a
off.
rental car or something? This
When it's
fucking
not
thing is so
submerged. Yeah.
You can't get that thing
That's
off.
smart.
The other
All
thing
it
I've
goes is
heard
down.
The other thing I've heard is that you want to take a deep breath and wait until the car's completely full with water.
Totally.
That way you can the pressure equalizes.
right.
You can actually open the door. So there you go.
But this is
safety
why you
tips.
have to do the training, because who's going to remember that
Yeah.
Right.
when the panic stations?
Right.
One of the bigger problems is people don't unbuckle their seatbelts. So when you go into the water, you panic, and it's natural human reaction. And so here you are trying to get out, and then you might inhale some water, and then you're done. And very often it's because they just don't unbuckle the seatbelt.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Can do that
So we're
in
saving
Long
lives here
Street.
today.
Yeah.
Deborah's saving lives with making sure that people don't get
Open the car
brained
door.
by cars. I'm making sure that if your car goes into the water, you're going to get out okay.
And you're
I think
making
Public
us
service
happy.
announcements today.
And I think there might be a partnership here, potentially. I think Gabrielle and I need to talk to you about enriching lives on these oil platforms where people are out there for 2 weeks at a
There you go.
time, and they could use some musical accompaniment.
It's absolutely true.
I think we
Yeah.
call it gigs on rigs.
I love it.
Gigs on rigs. Did you
love
just
it.
come up with that?
Kinda.
Dude, that is another genius.
It doesn't.
See, there's
I-
two genius ideas you had today.
It's-
The other one was before we even went on here.
the safety,
Gigs on
the
rigs.
safety
I'm
issues.
calling
You
this
just,
show.
it's not going to work. You know, they won't have
Why?
like getting someone who's not actually having a job on the rig out there with the safety issues. They won't do it.
No,
Yeah,
they
they're not
won't.
going to bring them out.
No way.
But we could do a
Hard
live
hats?
broadcast.
No.
Yeah.
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 What about live
Live
broadcasts
broadcast.
now?
Yeah.
That you can do.
Yeah.
Can you hook that up?
Sure.
Sure.
Give me a call.
Could we like, could they be on this show is what I'm saying?
Give me a call. We'll figure it out.
Why don't I give you a call? You're
Well-
right here.
I am here.
Okay. So how could we figure that out?
I'm not the person who can greenlight that, which is why I'm suggesting
Call you
give me
call
a
you in the
call.
office.
Speaking of things
Okay.
that you can't do on the oil platform, like smoke, we could just be gigs with cigs on
There it
rigs.
is. There it is.
Now you're talking. Hey, listen, Andrew, you want to play something?
Yeah. give me a
Okay,
minute.
grab a guitar. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this with Andrew Duhon. And we're back on Happy Hour with Gabrielle Cavassa
Yes.
and Lex Wachowski in the background, who we haven't even spoken to at all. He doesn't want to talk to us. He has no. Do you want to say anything? Lex, take this microphone. Arthur Franz IV is here. Also is the inventor of a board game which has no board called Mardi Gras Madness. And Deborah Oppenheim. Deborah, are you from here?
Yes, I am.
Deborah is the founder of Save a Cyclist. Look before you open. It's almost like, I feel like it should say, you fucking idiot or something under there.
Yeah, right.
Don't you think? It's
But
just-
I don't think it would be PC if I did that.
I don't know. It feels like, like that's what's missing.
Okay.
As a sort of a
We could do
slogan.
that as a byline.
Okay. So now, Andrew, look at this. Andrew's got this beautiful looking thing here. What is this called?
It's called a resonator guitar or a dobro.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice. Okay, so now, what happened to our instrument mic today? Oh, okay. All right. So this is the piece of shit song that you put together from stuff out of the scrapyard.
Yeah, well, it's polished shit.
Polished shit from the scrapyard. Okay. What are you calling it? We don't know.
I told you I can't tell you,
Can't
but
say.
I can give you some sort of intro, and that is that bass player, Miles Weeks, we were driving, our familiar route to some gig, and he said he pointed out a landmark familiar to most of us who've traveled outside of New Orleans, in the greater New Orleans area, and thought, you should write a song about that. And I'm like, man, you're right. I should write a song about that.
Okay.
So it ain't a deep one, But maybe it's good fun. Honey, we got to get out from underneath this landlord. Find us a house of our dreams. But everywhere around here we can't afford. I've been expanding to search out the greater New Orleans. I know uptown in Mid-City has always been your scene. What if I found us a place in the country that's built for a queen? I'm talking about the castle on Irish Bayou. I think for me and you, baby, just might do. That castle on Irish Bayou. Talking about sunset boat rides every single night. Cast a couple up against the cattails before we lose that daylight. Yeah, I'm talking about the castle on Irish Bayou. I know you worry about leaving all your friends behind, but don't you know every weekend they're gonna wanna come on back. Best part about it, babe, they don't need no address. They've been passing it on their way to Slidell ever since they was kids. Just tell them come about a castle on Irish Bayou. Don't even need a town, tell them just come right on through. Tell them come to the castle on Irish Bayou. Tell them take them out on a boat, long as it don't look like rain. We'll take them cross our big old moat they call the Pontchartrain, babe. Yeah, the castle on Irish Bayou. I don't know who lives there now, but baby, say the word, and I'll go knocking on his door. Introduce myself to the king. He said, son, what can I do you for? Well, I say, well, your majesty, I've been checking out this castle on Irish Bayou. Just tell me what kind of check I got to write you for this castle on Irish Bayou. I've been thinking about sunset boat rides every single night. I got that outboard motor in my left hand, got my queen in my right. Yeah, the castle on Irish Bayou. Honey, we got to get out from underneath this landlord. Oh, shucks, thanks, y'all.
Okay, I can see why you couldn't tell us the title.
Yeah, yeah.
And that would blow the whole thing.
Yeah, you blow the cover.
Right. So everyone's familiar with the castle on Irish Bayou, right?
Sure.
Yeah, everyone here, like Graham, our producer, is not. Everyone's passed that thing and thought the same thing. That line from the song. I don't know who lives there now. Does anyone know who lives there?
That's a good question.
Sea Rock. Where is he? Where is Sea
I'm
Rock?
hoping as I put the song out, I don't know if I'll do anything, but you know, maybe if I disseminate the song, it'll be like a Sleepless in Seattle thing where I'll finally find out who it is. You know?
You drive past there as well, Gabrielle,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Don't you always look at that thing and think, wonder who lives in that place?
No,
Never. What crosses your mind when you go past it?
just blank.
Nothing.
I
Just
can't
like-
think of ever having a thought about it.
Just
Which is why I really enjoyed the song.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Deborah, when you go past there? Have you thought
Why
about
would
it?
anybody want to live there?
That's what you think. Yeah.
I was hoping for a song about the adult movie side.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was really good.
Or what about Scuttlebutt? Yeah. What rhymes with
That's
Scuttlebutt?
right. That's right by there,
Right
actually.
past,
They're
yeah,
all
that's
in the
right.
same space.
Yeah.
The Castle on Irish Bayou. Okay. Are you going to record that, you think, or is
Probably
it just
not.
like a throwaway?
And they say like a song needs to be clever or true, and that one's more clever than true. So you know, I like to lean to the true ones.
Right. Okay, so listen, I got this bio about you, Gabrielle, here in front of me, and it says that Randy Jackson from American Idol commented on your talents and called
That's
you a
true.
real jazz singer.
That's
Were
true.
you on American Idol at some point?
I was.
Yeah, you were.
Did you know that, Deborah?
Yeah, I did.
You saw her.
How'd you know that?
I don't know. I remember seeing you, though.
Oh, yeah.
You remember seeing her on American Idol?
Yeah, I do.
Is
Wow.
that why you look so familiar?
Yeah.
When was
No,
that?
I didn't. It was in 2012.
That would have been when I watched it.
Yeah, that's when it was less
That's when it was
popular.
popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
When everybody
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how'd that happen?
you auditioned, right?
I auditioned. Yeah.
Were you like? I remember when that show was on TV. Is it still on, by the way?
I don't know.
There was like
I stopped watching
lines
it. I
of
had like
thousands of-
PTSD
yeah.
afterwards.
There were thousands of people lined up in these places, and they would go along, and they would make absolute fools
Yeah.
of them on these auditions.
Yeah.
And they like hideous. Who were the judges when you were on?
It was Randy
Randy
Jackson,
Jackson.
J-Lo, and Steven Tyler.
Wow.
And J-Lo was the one who sent me home. She said, Gabrielle, I'm sorry, or something like that. I was like, yay, she talked to me.
But you didn't. You were on the show. This
I was
This
on the
wasn't the
show.
audition. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
through the audition. thing. You actually
But you know
aren't-
what's crazy is there's like months of producer auditions before you get on to audition for the judges.
Wow.
Yeah,
So there's all sorts of
6
layers of
months
people.
of producers before
Right.
you even get to the room with those celebrities.
Can I ask a question about that? Because some of the people who do make it on air are
Yeah.
awful, just hideous. And
Yeah.
everybody must know that they're hideous because it's
Yes.
part of the show's thing. Do the people themselves know that they're bad?
Don't know.
Okay.
They don't know. And you're sitting with these people, and so you've gone through. So if you ever see people on TV auditioning for the judges, they've already been through a selection process. So either they've been selected because they're exceedingly good or
Damn.
exceedingly bad.
Wow.
And so you're sitting like waiting to go with people, and it's like, oh, which one are you? And yeah, no, I think I didn't come across anyone who knew that they were bad.
Okay.
So I'm really, yeah.
That's fascinating.
It made me feel bad. I didn't like that. I felt,
It's cruel.
yeah.
It's
It is
deliberate.
cruel.
It is.
It's really deliberate.
Yeah. So
Unless you knew you were bad and you didn't care and you just went on like that crazy
but they
guy
want
William
delusional
Hung or
people.
whatever. Right.
Like they got to sell it. So they really want.
Well, we all think we're good.
That's
Otherwise, we
not
wouldn't
true.
be sitting here. Oh, come on.
Oh
Don't
no.
you think?
It's debilitating self-doubt.
It's
is
so
most-
hard for
Yeah.
me
Well,
to
that's
think
be-
I'm good.
Dang.
But that's because you really are talented. And so you're comparing yourself to the greatest there possibly is. And you're realistic and you're very talented and you're real musicians and you know
But
what's
that's
going on. If you would-
indiscernible to the person, whether they're just have a healthy self-doubt and they're doing good things, or whether they just are missing the mark constantly, and that's why they're doubting.
I don't know. I think most people go through life thinking they're good at whatever it is they're doing.
That's wonderful. I
Don't you think-
disagree though.
Really?
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
think-
I wish.
You
yeah.
think most people are riddled with debilitating self-doubt? That's what you're
Well, I
saying.
hang out with a bunch of artists, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Deborah, you're in touch with the populace through kids through the last 30 years. Would you say that most people
Well, I think
have a
there's
positive attitude about themselves?
No, I think it's a
No.
spectrum. No. I mean, you have a spectrum of all kind of people.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But the bottom line of
I don't
things that
think children really think about it too much, except if you're playing sports or you're earmarked to be an artist or a musician, or you have to, you know.
But even if you're just going to work in an ordinary job, doing an ordinary thing, you're working behind the bar here at the Maple Leaf, or you're working in the bank next door, or the pharmacy next door, or the restaurant on the other side of us, or you still think you're doing an okay job, don't you? Most of the time, you don't think, oh, I'm just lucky to be getting away with it. Don't you think, Arthur,
Well-
in your job, don't you think you're competent?
Well, I think you're talking about two different
Yeah.
populations.
I do
You're
too.
talking
Yeah.
about
Okay.
creative people who are trying to express themselves through art
Right.
are incredibly self-critical. Am I right?
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
any artist who doesn't have their head in the sand sees that there's a whole lot of people out there with a whole lot of human experience, and they're trying to tell their own story, but wondering, why do I get the microphone, or why do I get the gallery, or whatever it is, and they wonder if they're up to snuff for that,
And when people tell them they're good, they have this piece of them that says, yeah, all right, whatever. That's not right. They don't know what they're talking about. Even though you, like both of you, are empirically very, very good. And I told you
Empirically.
both that you are very good, and I'll bet you there's a little corner of your mind
We're
going,
gonna-
oh, he has to say that. He's
We're
on the
gonna have
show."
to bring in one of those people like the Idol thing does. That really sucks, and we'll
Oh.
see what you think.
You did.
Okay, but
You did.
Gabrielle, you must know that you've got a beautiful voice and that people tell you that all the time. They're not always just making it up.
Well, but there's a huge battle for me with self-doubt and self-confidence. I think, of course, I do feel, and I've always felt that there is something that I want to share, and that deserves to be heard or shared. But then you have to battle all of this. This self-doubt, especially when you're learning new things and things that are hard.
Yeah.
And people, sometimes I think also, I sometimes become numb to someone saying, "Oh, what an amazing voice," because, I mean, people just say that whenever you
They don't know what they're talking
do
about.
something. It's not that they don't know what you're talking about,
They
but
don't even know how to open a car door properly.
I mean, it's such a weird life. Like, if you're just a bartender, like, not just a bartender, if you're whatever job you have that's not a creative job, people are like, "Oh, you're amazing." Like 10 times after you finish your shift. You're so amazing, Like, that's such a weird thing to hear constantly. And so you're like, okay.
So if someone gave you a more specific comment that was out of the ordinary, would that be more of an impact for you? Like if they said that when you sang you had a warble that was really pleasant, that you could hear the vibration of your voice, would that be better? Okay, I'll say
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And yes, but I also think that, one of the other things I've learned is when I was younger, especially, wanted validation for the art that I was making. But people, and as I've gotten weirder and weirder with my art and more me, maybe I get less from certain. So I have to kind of not listen to everything that everyone says, whether it's good or bad, like
Right.
just not to be dependent on that. Or else, I finish saying, I'm like, where's my star?
Yep.
Did you like it?
I'm sure that's one of the things you have to know, and if you're going to be an entertainer, is not to believe everybody's,
Yeah.
whether they tell you you're good or bad.
Or
You have to
just-
just,
yeah,
well, that's
keep
back
going.
to my whole point, that you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That you have to believe what you're doing is okay, whether or not people tell you you're shit or you're great.
Yeah.
You have to have enough confidence to get up and do it and to enjoy it no matter what you're doing. If you're working, behind the bar here or singing, whatever it is, that was my whole point.
There-
Are you
have to figure-
agreeing with me now?
You have to figure out for yourself, I think, when it feels like it's landing with
Yeah.
people that you believe in, if it's musical
Right.
colleagues or, but that and receiving accolades are two different things, but my favorite little element in the scene that I know in New Orleans is when we're all left out of local nominations or something, and
Yeah.
and then we comment at the bar like, oh, that I didn't even like that, and then the next year comes around and you're nominated like, oh they got it right,
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, come on,
Yeah, well, that's human nature.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gabrielle, now we're going to put you on the spot and make you play something else.
Okay. I don't know what to do this time. Really? Podcast? It's so short. I think Vanity maybe. Or we could do a standard.
Sure, that's okay. Try and do something that you own the copyright to. That would be my advice,
Yeah. Let's do.
if possible. Or it's out of copyright.
Okay, podcast. Yeah, I don't know.
You've got a song called Podcast?
Actually, oh yeah, we're on
a podcast?
Actually, we call it podcast, but I think I'm gonna call it on the album. I'm making a podcast, so you'll listen to me.
Okay. This could be our new theme song.
Yeah, it could.
Okay.
It's yeah.
I'm making a podcast,
It's
so you'll
about
listen to me.
it's about my my ex who we broke up and then we got together for a coffee a month after. I don't know why people do that. It's such a bad idea. Yeah, we need closure. What is that? And he's like, oh yeah, I am doing so good. I have totally changed. I'm playing a lot less music, which is a lot better for me, because when I do play it, it sounds much better. And I'm listening to a lot of podcasts because I've become really smart. And I am really happy with my life.
This is 1 month after you broke up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, oh,
Awesome.
wow. And you just couldn't stop talking about the podcast and all this great stuff.
Did he end up making the podcast? Don't tell me his name was Mark Maron.
He didn't make one, no.
He never did make a podcast.
My joke was I'm making a podcast so
he'll listen
so
to
that
you.
you'll listen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that is pretty funny.
But this song is
See-
like an interlude. That's why I said it's so short. The album
Short
has
is okay.
interludes in between the songs.
Well, we've got to get out of here in 5 minutes. So
Perfect.
short is okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
You start, Lex. You listen to podcasts now. You're so smart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. You listen to podcasts now. You're so smart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. Please be careful. Please be careful with my heart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. Please be careful with my heart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. You're so careful. You're not careful with my heart. One more time. I'm not careful, but I'm careful with your heart.
Okay, that is awesome. That's two great songs we've had today. The Castle on Irish Bayou, and I listen to podcasts now.
Yeah.
And smart.
That is the lyric? You listen to podcasts now?
You listen to podcasts now. You're so smart.
That is what I love about that is that when you're an artist like this, like most of us have these things that happen to us, and people say horrible things to us and hurt us and break our hearts, and we have to just fucking live with it. But when you can sing about it, or you can get up there and stick it to them.
Totally, yeah.
Deborah,
like
how do
that.
you get over heartache?
Start a nonprofit.
That's you did that to
Yeah, my dear friend was killed like this, so
right.
I thought, I'm an educator, I can do this. So little did I know that it was a lot harder than I thought, and I am committed to doing this. So it's a good
So
cause.
the person who was killed, there's a person who was actually killed when the car door, when he got car door.
Yeah.
Was that your partner or?
No, my
Just
dear
a good
friend,
friend.
since I've been 19 years old.
Oh
We've been
my
friends.
Sorry.
We used to come here all the time,
To
actually.
the Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
Wow. And how long ago did he get killed?
2016.
Wow. That's horrible. What street was that on?
Esplanade in near Claiborne.
Just on a regular day. He was just biking home or biking
There's a
to
bunch
work.
of white bikes right near
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now I have this swag for people. This is what's called a static clean sticker. You peel it and put it on the inside of your car. This is a magnet that you put on the back of your car.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then if you do any form of social media, like it, so people
Okay.
can know about it.
Okay, so we have to get out of here. So let's finish up then with this information. It's called Look Before You Open.
Right.
And if we want to find you, you're at, how do we find you? I mean, we can put a link to this on our website.
It's
neworleans.com.
www.lookbeforeyouopen.com.
So you
And
got
on
that.
Facebook, it's Look Before You Open NOLA.
Okay. So if you just Google Look Before You Open,
Yeah.
we'll find you. No
Yeah.
problem.
Or my name.
Okay. Deborah Oppenheim.
That's it.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for inviting me.
It's been great to meet you, and thanks for doing this.
Thank
for
you.
all of us who ride bikes around. I've been knocked off my bike in the French Quarter.
I think we all have probably had
Right.
an
I just saw someone get knocked off their bike the other day.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
What happened to you, Andrew, when you got knocked off?
I didn't know. I
You
just,
didn't actu-
I'm
oh,
always,
you were just
I'm always
freaking out about it.
wary. Yeah, yeah.
You gave me that bike helmet, remember?
I did give you a bike
Yeah,
helmet.
saved
He
my
was
life.
leaving the podcast
right.
without a bike. I was like,
Right.
I got a bike helmet in my car. Take this.
Yeah. And then I ended up giving it back to you. Do you still wear that? Do you wear it?
Yeah, I got
Do
two.
you carry it around?
Well, that's the thing. It's like that's something. It's like you got all these bikes. What is there a way to create little
Hey, that's a
pantries
good
where you
point.
pop the helmet in and it gets
Right.
disinfected and
Make
you know.
one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's an invention, Arthur.
Invention.
Why don't you come up with that?
Board game.
Yes.
A bicycle helmet sanitizer.
Yeah, so we're all
It's
okay with
absolutely
the idea of
necessary.
putting it on our heads after strangers put it on their heads 20 times a day. Or
I never even thought about that. People would resist putting it on their head because somebody else
Yeah.
wore it.
That's why they
That's
don't
And
have
you could get
helmets.
lice.
Right.
That's why they don't have
That's
them on.
why they're not doing the helmets. But I
Ah.
think you could do something like
What you could just spray it with a
Yeah, exactly. Like you're
Stang.
wearing your yoga mat or
That comes
something,
with it.
you know.
Yeah.
Do you spray yoga mats?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's one thing you don't have to spray, and that's the Mardi Gras Madness.
The Mardi Gras Madness game, sanitized for your protection.
Pretty
It's
much,
called
yeah.
Mardi Gras Madness, and we can just Google.
And you all should play
You can.
music.
You can go to uplinkunderground.com. That's the
Okay.
site for the company. Or you can just Google Mardi Gras Madness board game, and it'll come up.
That is
Okay.
so cool.
Well, congratulations on actually
Thanks very
doing
much.
it and getting it made and not at Kinko's. Well, there is
Not
no
at Kinko's.
there is no Kinko's anymore. It is really cool. I'm interested to see how it goes. I looked at the explainer video. It looks pretty cool, actually.
Thank you very much.
I thought maybe it would be good with a lot of alcohol involved.
Absolutely.
That
Just
would be
like
the
Mardi
main
Gras,
ingredient.
alcohol
Yeah,
not
right.
included,
Alcohol
but
not
recommended.
included, exactly. And Gabrielle Cavassa, where can we see you playing along with Lex Warshawski?
You can see us play every Sunday at the Starlight
Which is?
on St. Louis and Dauphine in the Quarter.
Okay.
And we do a set from 8 to 9:30-ish. And then we take a break, and there's a jam session that starts at 10.
Oh, wow.
I do that
And-
with my band every Sunday.
And you're there every Sunday night? Okay. Hey, listen, I've totally lost the commercials that I'm supposed to read here. Where'd they
Oh.
go? I didn't bring them. So I have to do them by heart. Okay. Thank you to the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who support arts, culture. What else do they do? Can you remember? Basics Underneath on Magazine Street, who sells fine lingerie and swimsuits. But what do the Positive Vibrations Foundation do? They do a lot of good things.
They're wonderful.
So
Yeah.
the European Wax Centre, what was our past location? Long gone. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. It's been happy hour for another week. Our producer is Graham DePonte. Our music producer is Monique Pyle. Christian Unruh is our music consultant. Thomas Walsh is our technical director. Our Facebook live feed director who put this whole thing on Facebook is Asher Griffith. Andrew Searock is our fact checker. And social media connector. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about 60 minutes while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com, where you can find many other happy hours we made before this one, including last week's show, which was about divorce, actually, which is worth listening to. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace, is another show we make around here, as well as Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast about death, if you're interested in that, called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at Cicadiana.com and it's BatonRouge.la. You can keep up with us between shows on a bunch of time-sucking social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can find those links on our website, itsneworleans.com. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Happy Hour Facebook page. These photos are taken today by Jill LaFleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thanks for subscribing to us. If your podcast app has a share option, try telling a couple of your friends about Happy Hour. The show is recorded live today at the Maple Leaf Bar on Oak Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting. For itsneworleans.com, for Andrew Duhon and everyone else around here at the table at the Maple Leaf and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.